Freshman Paolo Banchero, who's been tremendous, and Brady Manek, whose insertion into the lineup for the Tar Heels kind of sparked their final quarter of this campaign. What an honor tonight for Roger Ayers, Jamie Luckey, and Ramey Steins. A veteran ACC crew. Ayers will put it in the air with Bacot and Williams. And Williams slapped it into the backcourt window. Moore couldn't run it down, and Duke will give it to Carolina. And you get a look. That's what Coach K's box camera will look like tonight. You'll get a full look at the Duke bench. And the Hall of Fame head coach at 75 years of age, who tonight with a win can pass Dean Smith on another list. Here is Bacot down the lane for the dunk.
I thought the first basket would be a dunk, but I actually thought it was going to be Duke's.
Wendell Moore tried to go to Banchero. Ball got kicked away out of bounds, and Ramey Steins behind the play will keep it with the Blue Devils on his whistle.
Debbie, this is what you're talking about, the emotion, right? You gotta let the game come to you. I mean, this place is so jacked up right now.
You're gonna have to move the ball, everybody get a touch, get a good sweat going, run the floor hard.
Almost calm down, Debbie.
Yeah, take a deep breath, like a collective breath. Every possession is going to matter in this one. I think this is going to be tight. I definitely believe North Carolina is playing their best basketball right now, and I certainly think Duke has ascended into the national scene for a Final Four and potential #1 seed.
Yeah. And a lot of that will be based on not only what they do, but also what happens with Arizona and Gonzaga and maybe a handful of other teams next week. They get the clock set, the shot clock as well at 18. Here is Keels, who had a big night the other night, and Williams almost touched it, but Trevor Keels, his first shot on the driving layup, ties the ball game.
Here comes that Duke defense. Disruptive. They'll deny one pass away.
Caleb Love, a back rim miss. Davis the rebound. Love will take on the drive against Moore. Lost it off his foot. It'll belong to the Blue Devils.
You know, the same thing goes for North Carolina. They've got to do a similar thing. Move the ball, get everybody a touch. Try to get Duke in rotation. You got to switch sides of the floor so you can attack a closeout on a skip.
Banchero against Manek. Blocked by Brady Manek. Bacot the recovery. Love to work off the Bacot screen. Quick entry pass. Bacot up strong. Scores.
I mean, you can't catch it any deeper than that. That is excellent work by Bacot off the ball.
And all the emotions of about 10 minutes ago have been cast out by the head coach at the bench, by the way.
Well, eventually, like we said, it comes down to basketball after all the pomp and circumstance.
Yep, Moore. Skip, here's Keels for three. And Manek the rebound. Carolina, here's transition, Debbie. Davis again. Bacot had it, stripped of it off his leg. Nice help defense, A.J. Griffin.
North Carolina is really good in the middle third, and that was a great tag from the weak side by A.J. That's what you're supposed to do in that middle third. They're a drop coverage defensive team in that screen and roll game.
Manek drawing Banchero. And the rebound for Leaky Black. Black has shown some offensive punch late in the campaign. Here's Manek's first try, and it's good. Brady Manek's hit 42% from behind the line, Debbie, in the last 4 games.
You know what? He can really stroke it. I mean, he's been fantastic. We know he's a pick and pop guy. He's also a trail 3 shooter.
Early 5-point lead for Carolina. 2.5 gone at Cameron. Crowd has kind of settled in. The emotions of the pregame knocked away, and last touch by Carolina. It'll stay with the Blue Devils.
Loose with the ball, not so tight. You know, got to tighten up a little bit here if you're Duke. By the way, the temperature's gone up about 10 degrees in here too when it filled up.
fact, I did tell you earlier in the week they put air in here.
In the year 2002, I looked that up before he came. It was 20 years ago, and I know they did not turn it on for tonight.
Moore on the drive, left alone, missed the layup. Williams follow. Manek the rebound. Davis spots. And Williams the rebound, a foul on Bacot, challenging the chance at the glass. Armando, who drew 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes and change the first time, draws the first foul on the Tar Heels 3 minutes into the game. And Puff Johnson immediately off Hubert Davis's bench to replace the junior from Richmond, Virginia.
Well, I think it's a good coaching move to get him a seat, not let him pick up another cheap one. Since you got the lead.
Williams tried to lob it to Keels beyond the reach, turned over by the Blue Devils. Here's Manek off the skip. 2 guys were there, and he threw it away trying to get it to Johnson. A little bit different customer on the receiving end of the pass, and Mike Krzyzewski's fired up at his team for their offensive execution.
Well, they're not in any rhythm at all, that's for sure. But neither is North Carolina. 3 early turnovers for the Heels.
A.J. Griffin, who had 27 the first time in Chapel Hill.
Got to get it to the other side of the floor now. See, North Carolina can load up their defense.
And here's Love trying to lead the break. He'll spin through traffic, put it up, and draw a Duke foul. Jamie Lucky on a whistle that will be against the Blue Devils, and I think Paolo Banchero has drawn his first. And the first on the Blue Devils.
This is a transition opportunity for North Carolina, and they have to get transition points. That counts going to the free throw line.
Caleb Love, by the way, 3rd best free throw shooter in the ACC at 86%.
Here's the other thing, guys. First game, Duke led 31-8. Take a look now, 8-2. Completely different vibe, right? The energy of the building. Duke's got to take a chill pill here. Get back into a rhythm.
Second one for Love.
I like that Coach K subbed early. You know, get some other guys in, get everybody a chance to get a sweat going, and everybody settle in.
Theo John had 2 points, 3 rebounds on the win Tuesday night at Pittsburgh. He'll get the cleanup here for his first points tonight.
That's all Jeremy Roach, getting past that primary defender into the paint.
Well, Roach has been coming off the bench the last 6 games. He's had 3 in double figures, though. 4 minutes in, Carolina 5-point lead, and make it 7 on the drive by Davis.
It's good recognition by RJ to know that he can go off the bounce.
The bench is up, the crowd is up, saying that ball was deflected, and it should not have been an over and back. But either way, Jay, a very good start for the Tar Heels.
Just the penetration by Leaky Black, the transition.
Went back to Napoli.
His coach, you were an assistant coach on 2 of them in 91 and 92, and you played in a national championship game yourself in 86. But right now, your former coach has all kinds of fire.
Make and catch passes as far as getting open during that break, and Duke is switching some of these screens and exchanges right now for North Carolina, so it's been a lot of dribbling by Caleb Love.
Yeah, he was looking for somebody to pass to. Finally found Leaky Black, who's forced into a jumper, and the rebound down to the Blue Devils, and a foul on Puff Johnson.
Well, that was not because of the switching. And when you get switching like that, oftentimes what you can do is just screen your own defender, and that can help you get open when you're facing a switching defense.
If you're just joining us, Coach K's final game here at Cameron. Some 80 former players in attendance here tonight. Carolina off to a very good start. Armando Bacot, 1 foul about 3 minutes into the game, and Hubert Davis has him on the bench. Does not want to lose him early tonight, like he did a month ago in Chapel Hill, as Banchero gets to the bucket.
Leaky Black did a really good job of closing out, but that was more of a decisive move by Paolo Banchero. He didn't play with the ball first, he just went. And that's what he's got to do in this game. He needs to be a power player against Leaky Black, not a finesse player.
Black to Johnson. Johnson for three, way off.
Boy, the lefty was wide open. Theo John had switched out on him.
Boy, and Johnson giving up a lot of size in the matchup with Theo John. Johnson goes flying. Roach goes driving, and he finishes.
Duke doing a better job of spreading the floor and then attacking the matchup. The favorable matchup that they're going to have on the floor right now.
Carolina comes in 22-8, 14-5 in the league as John swats it out of bounds. Boy, and if you're a Carolina player, and some of them have played here before the pandemic, how do you tune out this noise, which even by Cameron standards is extreme right now?
Well, you're not going to be able to tune it out. You're just going to have to play with it and deal with it, but they can.
We'd like to welcome those of you who were watching Kansas and Texas. We are here at Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, and Holly Rowe. The final home game for Mike Krzyzewski. Blue Devils. A very nice ceremony before the game with, again, about 80 former players. Carolina got off to a great start. We're leading 11-4. Duke is now back within 3 at 11-8. Armando Bacot, 1 foul on the bench for about the last 2.5 minutes. Carolina again would love to play spoiler and pick up a huge win that would certainly salt away an at-large in the NCAA tournament if they could get this one here tonight. And they're probably safe anyways, but this would lock it up for sure.
Well, Duke has thrown a couple of passes away trying to get it into the post.
That was not deflected. Love looking as if that shot was tipped by a Duke player, but he just aired it over the backboard, and it's Duke ball.
And North Carolina started out 4 of 6 in this game to take the early lead, but they're 0 of their last 4. They've had a few turnovers. When Duke's been switching, it's given them a problem. There's been a little bit too much dribbling the last few possessions. But Carolina's defense has been locked in for the most part.
With Puck Johnson now having 2 fouls and Bacot on the bench with 1. Dontrez Styles into the game for Carolina, the 7th man in their thin rotation. Banchero.
Leaky Black did a nice job of pressuring that shot, making it difficult, but Banchero is so quick to that second jump. Just beat Black to the ball.
And they're missing Bacot right now. Davis. Another strong drive. R.J. Davis again.
Well, R.J. Davis is basically a point guard that can really shoot it. You know, he's hit 54 threes on this season, but can really handle the ball and can really drive it.
Banchero driving on Black, scores again. And he's playing just the way you said he should play.
Well, that's where he's going to be effective, is taking on Leaky Black and trying to overpower him. If he gets a bigger guy on him, maybe Manek, or if Bacot ever has to switch out on him, then you can pick and pop. You can take him out on the perimeter, make the closeout longer. But he's got to drive Leaky Black.
Davis with a big on him, and Theo John, he goes around him, and that's the 3rd field goal of the night already for R.J. Davis.
Got Theo John on a switch, and what a great hesitation move by R.J. Davis. He's having a terrific year.
Bacot getting ready to check in, but the media timeout will hit first. Roach left hand. Soft off the glass.
How much better has Jeremy Roach been over the last 3 or 4 games? And he was good before, but he puts the best pressure on the ball of any Blue Devil on this team.
Roach guarding Love. Love spins. Ball fake. Blocked from behind by A.J. Griffin.
Paolo Banchero being guarded by Leaky Black. He has a size and strength advantage. Takes him inside the shot fake and just quicker to that second shot. And then the left-handed drive. Not playing around with it, just a straight line drive to get to the basket. Banchero starting to get aggressive on offense.
Here's to all.
Spank of the fans, and again, Jay played here 1982 to 1986. Was part of a class that really led Duke to prominence, getting to the national championship game in 1986, your senior year. What was it like being down there with your old teammates and so many other former Duke players?
Well, it was great. It was a great feeling. It was great seeing everybody. A few of us need to get on the Peloton though.
Roach can't finish, but he does draw the foul. Take us back in time. Tell us about the first time as Adam Silver looks on. I think that was Jerry Seinfeld beside him. Adam Silver and Jerry Seinfeld. How about that? A power duo. Take us back in time, you know, the first time you heard or your parents heard from Coach K, and how and why did you end up at Duke with all the other schools that were recruiting you?
The first time I heard from him, I was 17 years old. I had just played in a national tournament called the BCI, and Duke had seen me play and apparently thought I wasn't as bad as other people thought, and they started recruiting me. So when Coach K first called me, the truth was I'd never heard of him. You know, I'm from Los Angeles, but the more I got to know him, the more I liked him, and the more I thought he was the right coach for me. But at the time of the people that were recruiting me, he was the least well-known and the least successful, and that's kind of flipped.
Yeah, he's done all right. You were recruited by so many schools, and you're being very humble here. You were the player of the year, as good a player as there was in the state of California back then. And your class included Mark Allery, Johnny Dawkins, and
David Henderson, Weldon Williams, and Bill Jackman. We were the #1 rated recruiting class in the country.
And your freshman year was a sub 500 year, but you guys got better and better and better. And we asked Coach K at practice yesterday, when did this happen? When did Cameron turn into Cameron? And he thought it was kind of about your senior year. Does that jive with what you think?
Yes. Yeah. What a great play and a great transition outlet by Theo John. North Carolina needs to continue to look for Armando Bacot now that he's back in the game, and he was out for an extended period with just one foul. But I think middle of the floor ball screens will really do a lot to free him up and get him into the middle of the lane.
Good ball pressure by the Blue Devils out on the perimeter. Davis into Manek. Got a mismatch with a Roach on him. Won't go down. Bacot keeps it alive. Banchero tips it to Moore. Moore the kick. Keels the three. And the rebound down to Love, and he gets wrestled to the court by Theo John.
Yeah, John couldn't grab the rebound. Love was trying to get it after trying to corral it out of the air. It hit the floor, and John just grabbed him and pulled him down. I'm not sure whether that's a play they're going to look to review.
Looks like it. Players are going to their respective benches, so it looks like they'll have a look at this to see if this should be escalated up to a flagrant one. And you can see John is apologizing to Love the whole time, and there was some sportsmanship thereafter. I don't know if he was using Love to break his fall, but he pulled him down.
Yeah, I'm not sure they can rule that a basketball play, but it certainly wasn't a crazy flagrant foul, but he did grab him and pull him down, and I think by definition that could be a flagrant one.
Roger Ayers, Jamie Luckey, and Ray Stiens, the officials here tonight. That's Ayers on the left, Luckey on the right. Looking at the monitor right now.
Because you can't tell when the whistle blew, if that's deemed after the whistle, it's the same outcome. They call it a non-contact technical. Just trying to corral it here, and then he wraps his arms around him and pulls him down. Now, was that violent contact? No. But it looks like it's going to be a flagrant one. You can see Jamie Luckey holding his finger on this and just pointing at somebody.
And it is a flagrant one, so it's 2 on the ball. As you said, it's hard to define that as a basketball play or a play on the ball, so you can understand why it was elevated to a flagrant one.
I mean, the officials had to call it. That's within the rule. And they're fouling, you know, that's a foul where Caleb Love goes to the free throw line. Love hits 86, 87% from the line. He hardly ever misses.
You saw Carlos Boozer, Mike Dunleavy, two of the other former Blue Devils in attendance tonight. Carlos is all dressed up. He's working on the ACC network pre and post. Sheldon Williams is here. Alan J. Will is here. Which of your former teammates are here? I didn't see everybody down there.
David Henderson, Weldon Williams, Danny Ferry. There's see Steve Wojciechowski, Gerald Henderson. If you've ever seen Gerald Henderson hit a golf ball, there's no pro that hits it further than he does. It's ridiculous. Should be illegal.
Carolina by one past the midway point of the first half, looking for what would be by far their most significant win of the season. If they can pull it off, and again, you would think they are safe, but this would certainly lock it up. What a start for R.J. Davis.
That's what I'm talking about, Dan. Those middle third ball screens set by Armando Bacot, because you're so worried about the roll. If Mark Williams doesn't help on the ball, then Bacot rolls to the back. Or if he helps on the ball, Bacot rolls to the basket. If he doesn't, R.J. Davis goes.
Good luck. Good luck keeping Trevor Keels out of the paint when he wants to get there. He's got 4.
And this game has been played almost exclusively in the paint. I mean, how many buckets can you think of that haven't been scored in the paint?
18 of Duke's 20 are in the paint right now. Keels in transition. Moore for 3. And Duke has the lead.
Duke taking advantage of a rebound to start their offense. You have to complete your defensive possession by grabbing a rebound, especially if it's a long one, but that can start your offense.
Nice drive there by Puff Johnson, the younger brother of former Tar Heel Cam Johnson, a guy who missed the last half of last year and the first half of this year with various injuries, but he is now firmly in the rotation.
Well, he's been a big lift for North Carolina late in the season. He plays so hard. Dives on the floor, he just makes team plays.
Carolina fortunate there that Keels couldn't finish that one. Manek, quick release on the 3. His second three-pointer of the game.
Boy, he sees Duke blue and gets fired up. Brady Manek at 21 points against Duke in the first one. He was really the only player to respond against Duke in that first game.
Going against Puff Johnson. That'll be his 3rd. So that is an early problem here for Hubert Davis. But other guys.
Well, guys, this building is packed to the nooks and crannies. It's one of the toughest tickets we've ever seen in sports. I've been able to confirm a couple of ticket prices over $1 million with the V Foundation that was auctioned off for more tickets. But online, we've seen them go for upwards of $99,000. I did talk to one season ticket fan that said they were offered $150,000 for their tickets down on the front row by the Duke basket. Guys, we are having a lot of fun down here, but one guy told me it's none of my business how much he paid for his ticket on the front row. The students, though, may have paid the highest price. The Cameron Crazies have been sleeping out since January 23rd. That is 6 weeks, 70 teams of 12 people. At all times, someone had to be in the tent. Way to go, Cameron Crazies. They may have paid the highest price.
Wow, thank you, Holly. You knew the prices would be insane. We were all checking secondary markets just for fun every now and again. Recently, as Coach K coaches his final game here at Cameron, I tried to raffle off your ticket, but apparently that's against company policy, so I wasn't allowed to do it. But they wouldn't even have the payment.
Going back to that horn set for North Carolina. Good backdoor cut.
And Leaky Black back to Armando Bacot, who draws the foul.
Now, on the other end, Duke was trying to isolate Brady Manek. Banchero was being guarded by Manek, so they gave him an open side. And there was a little up and under move. He gave a shot fake. But Banchero didn't really chase after the rebound. He had an opportunity to go get that. And earlier on, he really went after that.
In the first game, which was in Chapel Hill, obviously a 20-point win for Duke. They led by as many as 28 at one point. And as Jay mentioned earlier, Hubert Davis told us what Carolina needs to do is bring the fight. They were out-rebounded by 16. Carolina was in their own home building, and that doesn't happen to Carolina.
It doesn't.
It's been a different story so far.
Yeah, but usually you get out-rebounded when you miss that many shots. I mean, Duke shot almost 60%, and Carolina shot in the first half. They shot in the 30s. So you're missing that many shots. The defense is going to have a big advantage going after the ball.
Banchero for 3.
2 on the ball. Manek went to the ball, and that left Banchero wide open and a long way to close out.
Grant Hill liking what he's seeing. Another one of the Duke greats in attendance tonight. Blue Devils back within 2. Manek. Tip to Griffin.
But Carolina cannot forget about Armando Bacot. He needs to touch the ball more.
And A.J. Griffin's got to get some touches for Duke. He hasn't attempted a shot yet. They got Bacot for his second.
There's a lob to Williams, and Bacot just backing into him. Just a cheap one that he should have let go. I mean, you can get a bucket back. You cannot get a foul back. But he's humping too much on the ball. He came back, caught him with his arm. I don't even know if he knew Williams was going to be right behind him on that lob look.
And Hubert Davis has made his decision, at least for now. Bacot is out, and Justin McCoy, a Raleigh native, the transfer from Virginia, who has been dealing with a sore knee, has not played in 5 games. As Williams lays it in to tie it, McCoy is into the game for Carolina. This is not a lineup, I think, that Hubert Davis anticipated needing, certainly at this point of the game.
No, the scorers are Manek, Davis, and Love. Now, Leaky Black has really improved his offense from last year to this, but I still wouldn't call him a scoring threat. Got to switch now. Banchero, you got to take him on.
Love trying. Couldn't get by him. Black the kick. Love the 3. Rebound to Leaky Black, and that shot altered by Mark Williams.
What a presence around the basket. Mark Williams is the best shot blocker in the ACC.
And a finalist for National Defensive Player of the Year. First points of the night for A.J. Griffin, and Duke has the lead. Davis driving, and it's off Griffin, out of bounds. Still Carolina ball.
Well, he was able to refuse that ball screen up top and take it to the left. But a good recovery to knock that ball away.
And is Hubert Davis planning on sitting Armando Bacot for the last 5:17 of the half? The score may determine that as Love misses a corner 3.
Without Bacot in there, much more difficult for Carolina to grab an offensive rebound.
Carolina's +6 when Bacot's on the floor, -8 when he's not. Banchero sizing up McCoy. Spins and lays it in. That's big time.
Duke is using Paolo Banchero as an isolation scorer. When he's got a matchup he likes, getting him to the elbow on the side and letting him go one-on-one. If he brings a second defender, he can pass it.
McCoy needs some help. Almost turned it over. Shot clock at 7. Love with a step-back 3. Short. Duke ball.
Well, just too tough of a shot for Caleb Love.
Griffin for 3. Up to this game, a brief pregame ceremony. Duke started very slowly. Carolina looked very crisp in the early going, but it's all Blue Devils.
Justin McCoy in. This is not a great scoring lineup, and Caleb Love has to stop playing with the ball and make decisive moves. Those juke moves he's making aren't going to work.
Bacot only 8 minutes of the 16 that have been played in this game because of the 2 fouls. What a rebound by Williams. Duke on a 12-0 run. And it is off Manek. It still belongs to the Blue Devils. Coming up at the half, it's the Jeep halftime report as the guys take a look at Coach K's Cameron farewell, and Kansas with an overtime win over Texas. They win the Big 12. And Jay will join the guys as well. Our guy Jay Will, former Blue Devil, of course. Jay Will, he'll join the guys to let them know what it's been like to be here, sitting in the seats, watching this during the first half as Banchero adds to the lead.
Banchero had another favorable matchup, and Armando Bacot had to back off of the block shot for fear of picking up another foul.
Davis too strong.
Boy, those two fouls are taking away Armando Bacot's aggressiveness on the glass. But if he can set this middle ball screen and then roll, he can find something.
And aggressiveness is such a part of his arsenal. He's got a great motor, but as you say, he's got to be careful.
Boy, Mark Williams has been a vacuum on the defensive board in this first half.
Banchero with a mismatch. Although Leaky Black, he can guard bigger guys. He's working as hard as he can, but Banchero is fouled before the shot, though. No basket. Foul on Leaky Black before the shot.
That's a big difference in some of the moves Banchero was making earlier in the year. This was a decisive rip through. He probably could have gotten it in one dribble to get there. But here's the previous play. He's got a great matchup to drive R.J. Davis, but Bacot usually would have gone after that block shot, but he had to back off. He didn't want to pick up number 3 here. And this is a huge 3 minutes before halftime. If Duke can stretch this thing out, or if Carolina can make a little run and make this closer. But we could look back on this as being one of the pivotal points in the game, the last 3 minutes of the first half.
And Duke has already clinched the regular season championship. It is their first outright ACC regular season championship since 2006. They shared it in 2010. Carolina will be either the 3 seed or the 4 seed next week in Brooklyn, depending on the outcome of this game.
Nice.
USC UCLA coming up at 10 o'clock tonight here on ESPN, and there's Bacot doing what he does best, getting on the offensive glass and converting.
Really like what North Carolina is doing right now, giving R.J. Davis primary ball handling responsibility. That way Caleb Love can work off the ball. So he's not playing with the ball as much, not as many dribbles, and North Carolina's moving the ball much better.
How about Davis with a block? He's having a terrific first half. Love looking for his first field goal of the night. Finds a wide open Manek, who left it short, and now Keels really created the contact and gets the call on Leaky Black.
Armando Bacot, watch him. This middle third ball screen is difficult because drop coverage for Williams. He pays some attention to the ball. Keels has to help out, and now all of a sudden it's a wide open shot, and then Bacot can wedge down and get that offensive rebounding position. That's just much better offense for North Carolina, and especially when they're operating in that middle third of the floor.
Bacot along with the Banchero and Alondas Williams of Wake Forest. You would think the ACC Player of the Year is coming out of one of those 3, wouldn't you?
I think Bacot is the ACC Player of the Year.
Ooh, a block the call on Mark Williams. Boy, and Hubert Davis had to have a lump in his throat for a moment after that one.
Well, Bacot looked like he lowered that shoulder, but Williams went down awfully easily. I mean, there's a lot to process there. Like, I don't think that amount of contact would, I don't know, the referees always call that an offensive foul, but that sort of play, I think Bacot has to feel fortunate he didn't pick up another foul.
Love for 3. His first field goal of the night. He's got 7 points overall. Carolina back within 4 as Mike Krzyzewski calls a timeout and staring at the officials.
Our journey at Continental has taken us down many.
On the catch and decisive once he catches it. Just a defensive breakdown. Wendell Moore Jr. thought he was going another way, but just lost him. And all of a sudden, North Carolina only down 4 in this first half. It looked like it might get away from the Tar Heels, but they fought back. And fortunate on, I would say, on that charge block call down in the post. Bacot avoiding picking up his 3rd foul, and Armando Bacot coming out right now with about 1:50 to go in this first half.
Justin McCoy back into the game for the Tar Heels in his place. And let's see if Banchero goes right out. Go with that
5-4 ball screen, got a switch.
Spinning on Manek and finishes strong. Boy, he has shown the whole arsenal tonight, hasn't he?
Well, if he goes right, Manek tries to cut it off. This is a beautiful spin move, and nobody was there to sit on it because you're so worried about Mark Williams in that 4-5 ball screen.
Pull up by Manek, short. And Carolina stay within striking distance with Bacot on the bench the last minute, 10 of the half. Duke by 6 right now.
Boy, Williams wide open.
Not a thing Manek could do about that.
It's that high-low action. Banchero missed him at first, but he was so wide open you could miss him and then see him again. Duke trying to ratchet up the pressure.
Black with a drive and a kick. A great look for Manek, and he buries it.
That's the penetration. When North Carolina is getting the ball and getting a piece of the paint rather than settling for jump shots, they're forcing help. When you force help, you can kick it to a guy like Manek. He can knock it down. Here's the drive. The closeout not particularly good. Banchero tries to pick up the charge, playing off 2 feet. And then here's Banchero. You try to move your feet to stay in front going right. Spins back left, and he's so athletic. And then this high-low. There's no way Brady Manek getting caught behind. That's a double bury. I mean, you're got 2 feet in the paint. It's over.
And they missed Bacot. The Heels have at both ends of the floor when he's been on the bench with fouls. 8 seconds between game clock and shot clock.
Have to think they're going to go to Banchero here against Bacot. Here's that 5-4 ball screen again. Got the switch again.
Banchero from the elbow this time. Rebound to Davis, and Carolina's got time to get a final look.
That was a good shot, but would have liked to have seen him get to the basket rather than settle for the pull-up.
Davis launches a 3 and hits it. What a big shot for Carolina at the end of the half.
With Bacot on the bench, Carolina fights to get to 41-39 at halftime. Looked like they might stretch it out. How important was that last 3 minutes of the first half? R.J. Davis, a little pick and pop action. They don't switch. And just a beautiful step back move. R.J. Davis had a great first half.
And Duke Associate Head Coach John Shire is with Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach, what a unique night. So many players lined up as Coach K walks out. You've known him a long time. What is the emotion you've seen from your head coach?
Yeah, to be honest with you, once the game started, he's been locked in. Of course, that's
a sonic blockbuster matchup. Dan Shulman, Jay Billis, Holly Rowe, Duke, and Carolina. Over to Cameron. The Blue Devils lead by 2.
Brady Manek guarding Banchero. Helps on the ball. And now a drive, but he loses it.
Recovers with plenty of time on the shot clock as Trevor Keels calls out a play. He'll use the Williams screen. Missed the 3, and Bacot down with his 4th rebound of the night. Bacot averaging in conference play 14.5 rebounds per game, more than 6 ahead of Paolo Banchero, who's second in the conference.
Playing that middle ball screen, now a handoff. That was good offense, just didn't make the floater.
And Love struggling to make shots. He's 1 for 10. Manek gambles. Moore steps in. A kick to a wide open A.J. Griffin. And that's a break for Carolina. That didn't go down. He's basically a 50% three-point shooter.
Yeah, he doesn't miss many of those.
Black has it knocked away by Moore. Bacot spinning through traffic and ties the game.
How did he make that shot? It wasn't the most graceful of moves, but effective. And that's why I think Carolina needs to keep going to Armando Bacot. He needs to touch the ball.
Moore misses the slam.
Well, Bacot got out of the way there. If he was in the restricted area, if he tried to take a charge, it would have definitely been a foul.
Keels doesn't get the bounce. Tipped up and in by Williams.
Bacot had the rebound in his fingers, and Williams reached with his left hand and tipped it in. Talk about wingspan.
7'1" guy with a 7'7" wingspan. Duke by 2.
If it was 7'6", he couldn't have gotten that play. What a pass.
How good of a night is R.J. Davis having as Bacot now has 14.
Well, I think Carolina is so much better when R.J. Davis is running the point and primary ball handling duties. Now here's one-on-one against Manek. Banchero wants to pull up there. If you're going to take on Manek, drive him and force help, then play out of him.
Davis, a little bit too strong. Banchero the rebound. And it's 6'10", 250 going coast to coast.
Banchero can rip and run. He gets the rebound, doesn't need to outlet it. Manek had his back turned to him trying to get back. But there was no way for him to defend that.
Davis again acting as the primary ball handler. Keeps it alive. Finds Bacot. And the foul line jumper won't go.
Didn't go down. That was still a pretty good shot. And Davis did a great job of keeping his dribble.
Manek's got his hands full tonight with Banchero, doesn't he? Made him give it up. Now Williams. Yes.
A smart play by Banchero. He didn't have it, kicked it out, then they kicked it into the post to Mark Williams.
Love drives, kicks. Manek drives, got bumped, and a foul.
Tough closeout by Banchero trying to get out on Manek, and Manek just gave him a little shot fake. But Banchero grabs the rebound, and he can get ahead of steam. Who's going to get in front of 6'10", 255 and skilled? Didn't have it here. Kicks it back out to Wendell Moore Jr., and he immediately gets an angle to get it into the post to Mark Williams. Just really good offense. And Banchero, instead of taking a questionable shot, kicks it out, and then they can attack again.
Manek, a 67% free throw shooter on the season. 9 points tonight, coming on 3 3-pointers. 3-point game.
You have to think that Duke is going to continue to attack Brady Manek or try to look into the post and go against Armando Bacot. And then if they kick it out, you got an open three, good for you.
Open three, Keels, yes.
The open three came from attacking the paint. You get a piece of the paint. Carolina's been unable to guard the ball. They bring help, and Duke is taking advantage of it.
Davis to initiate the offense. 5 to shoot.
Got a switch.
Spins on Banchero, and a foul.
Duke has been getting a piece of the paint off the dribble all night long, whether in transition or in the half court. Wendell Moore Jr. turns the corner, draws help, and then kicks it out to Trevor Keels, one of the top three-point shooters in the ACC. Jay Will, that was him.
USAA is made for the safe pilots. For Mac.
My wife and my 3 daughters have made me so much better. They have always believed in me.
Well, Coach Krzyzewski carries his mother Emily's rosary in his left pocket for every game. But if you want to know what kind of woman his wife Mickey is, when he was stationed in the demilitarized zone in South Korea during the Vietnam War, his wife flew with their young daughter. They were not allowed by the Army to stay on base with him, so she slept in a supply closet with her baby sleeping in a suitcase for 3 months. She was that desperate to see and support her husband. Mickey Krzyzewski has been there every step of the way, helping to build this program. And his 3 daughters, I know that they are also proud of their dad, but that's one of the best stories I've ever heard by any woman anywhere, going to the demilitarized zone and sleeping in a supply closet to support her husband.
Ollie, thank you. I think for a lot of people, they know Mike Krzyzewski only as the coach at Duke. But of course, Jay, he played at Army, he served at Army, was a captain. As Mark Williams slams it home, was an assistant for a year on Bob Knight's staff at Indiana, then became the head coach at Army. He coached there for 5 years before taking over here in Duke in 1980.
Paolo Banchero continues to be the biggest factor in this game. The second biggest has been Mark Williams. his rebounding, shot blocking, shot changing. And actually Duke is usually it's North Carolina's big guys you have to worry about. In this game, North Carolina's big guy is Armando Bacot. And Brady Manek is a stretch, even though he's tall, he's a stretch four. He plays mostly on the perimeter.
Love guarding A.J. Griffin. 10 to shoot. Banchero misses the three. Manek the rebound. Davis bounce pass and the finish by Bacot. What a play by R.J. Davis.
Just a great ball screen by Armando Bacot. That makes Mark Williams have to help, and then he's wide open on the roll. R.J. Davis with a terrific little pocket pass, almost a jump pass that he dropped to him.
Bacot's got 16 points in 15 minutes of action tonight as a block is called on Caleb Love, and he doesn't like that call at all.
Bacot with a little random ball screen just on the edge of the middle third. When Williams helps up, he drops it off. Nobody there to help. And then after, just a great catch by Banchero, and Bacot's got to come over. Nobody can pick up Williams as he dives to the basket. Williams has been a presence on both ends.
Williams sits now as Theo John is back in. Jeremy Roach has also come off the bench for A.J. Griffin.
Theo John can be more physical with Armando Bacot, a different kind of big guy than Mark Williams.
Roach using the screen. And it'll go. Soft touch on the runner.
Well, Bacot, he was in the restricted area. He couldn't take a charge, but he didn't even try to block the shot. He's got to go up there and get that.
Well, great minutes from Jeremy Roach tonight. Coming off the bench for Duke.
Got a switch. That was really smart by R.J. Davis to take on Theo John and just drive into his shoulder to pick up that foul. Duke is taking on any sort of mismatch they have on the other end. And Carolina has to do the same thing. Now, Bacot, watch, he's there to take a charge, but he didn't really try to block the shot. I don't know whether he's still worried about picking up another foul, but he's got to go up and try to wipe that thing away or change it.
He's got two, missed several minutes in the first half after he picked up his first, and then again after he picked up his second. Davis short. Bacot, did that hit a Duke player on the way out of bounds? It did not. It belongs to the Blue Devils.
Well, R.J. Davis is saying somebody hit me while I was trying to shoot it. Said he got hit on the wrist.
Davis, the sophomore from White Plains, New York. Moore. Well, dips that shoulder just a little to create some space, but he couldn't hit the shot.
Just couldn't turn the corner on Caleb Love. There's that middle ball screen and roll.
And Bacot converts. They got that one down to a science right now.
Well, that's what I think we talked about on game day. I felt like that's what Carolina needed to attack in the middle third of the floor and make Mark Williams guard that, make Theo John guard that, and eliminate help with that middle third of the floor.
Carolina back within 5. Banchero blocked by Bacot.
That's more like it for Armando Bacot. Wipe that away.
Manek blocked by John. Banchero finishes. Boy, what a sequence that was.
Oh, what a block by Theo John. Brady Manek wanted a foul, but that was a big-time block up top, contact or not.
And if possible, it just got a little bit noisier here with the camera, but Love will quiet the crowd for a moment as Bacot and John go tumbling to the court.
Body's getting tangled up. The official's going to talk about it. They haven't called anything. But just that middle ball screen again. Theo John giving a little shot to Armando Bacot and falls down over him. So I'm not sure. The officials are going to take a look at it. But if they call a... I mean, they're not going to call that foul. If there was any foul to be called on Theo John there, they missed it. So they're not going to go back and call that. That wouldn't be a flagrant.
So nothing doing, and back to the Carolina coaches probably didn't like that John initiated that contact with Bacot. Again, when Bacot's been in there, Carolina, they've been just fine. They are +6 with him on the court, but -11 when he has been on the bench with a couple of fouls.
Well, he's been the most productive big guy, not only in the ACC, but one of the most productive in the country. I mean, he's averaging 16.5 points a game, just under 13 rebounds, right at 4 offensive rebounds, and just under 2 blocks a game. And in ACC play, it's even better. In the last 4 games, he's averaging 16.5 rebounds. And that's ridiculous. Those are Tim Duncan numbers that he's put up all season long.
Now, you read my mind. The last ACC player to have this scoring average, this rebounding average, and this field goal percentage in ACC play was Tim Duncan, and that was 25 years ago.
There's that middle ball screen again. And then a rescreen.
And a great defensive play by Griffin, but Love gets it back. And now a foul on Theo John.
Yeah, that time John looked like he got the ball initially, but brought that arm down and caught arms.
And John does not appear to favor the call here, Cam.
Duke almost able to come away with it. That ball was, he caught all ball. I'm not sure whether he caught that left arm as he came. He might have caught the left hand. But when he hit the ball, you could see it was all ball.
Number 3 on John. And 1 or 2 for Bacot to make it a 4-point game. Well, Hubert Davis is fired up in front of the Carolina bench right now.
The team's got to sit down and guard. Brady Manek staying on Banchero. Leaky Black on A.J. Griffin.
Love the steal. And it'll go to make it a 2-point game.
Well, North Carolina getting an easy basket off its defense. And this is what Hubert Davis wanted. He wanted some fight out of this team, and especially on the defensive end. Well, they gave up a lot of paint points in that first half, and doing a much better job of staying in front of the ball in the second half. Caleb Love just taken away, blew up that dribble handoff, took away the pass, a weak pass, and it turned into an easy basket for Carolina. Everybody loves it.
I think you're going to like it here.
Why is everyone...
Let's take a look at tonight's Sonic Blockbuster, and 2 of the best players in the ACC are Armando Bacot and Paolo Banchero, each with 19 points tonight. Both having terrific nights.
Well, Banchero has been going at every mismatch because there really is no matchup that North Carolina can naturally put on him. But you see Kyler Murray in the house. Terrell Owens getting his popcorn ready for this one.
And Dirk Nowitzki before that. Speaking of a guy there was no matchup for. All kinds of former Duke players as well, about 80 of them.
Oh, Carolina was so physical on that inbound.
A.J. Griffin with a rejection on Love. Mark Williams at the other end.
Well, we've seen that both those plays were incredibly physical. The physical defense played by North Carolina on the out of bounds, and then physical defense on the other end by Duke that turned into a layup by Williams.
Love with a floater, and this time there is a foul. It'll go on Jeremy Roach.
After that turnover on the out of bounds under, just a really good block with the left hand. Absorbed the contact, and the referee saying it was offense initiated contact, and the run out. Mark Williams went down after that physical defense by North Carolina on the out of bounds under, and that left him as the lone Blue Devil ahead of the pack to get that easy one.
By the way, Jay, that assist by Wendell Moore on the Williams dunk, Moore's 7th assist of the night.
He's been Duke's leading assist man all year long, just under 5 assists. And his defense all year long, Wendell Moore Jr. has been outstanding. I mean, his assignment is shooting 34% from the field and 29% from three. His primary assignment on the season.
Had a triple-double earlier this season against Army. He might wind up first team all ACC. If not, you'd think definitely second team. Banchero with the offensive rebound.
That inside position. They were looking to go high-low, and got to take on Bacot here. He's saying, get out of the way. Good help by R.J. Davis.
That leaves Keels open, though, and he drills it.
And that's what Hubert Davis told Holly Rowe. You know, he doesn't want them to be hugged up on their man. But when you help, if you overhelp, this Duke team can pass out of it. Then you got a longer closeout up to a good shooter.
Love is heating up. This is similar to the Monday game against Syracuse when he couldn't buy one through the first portion of the game and then got very hot very late as the Tar Heels won in overtime.
Well, he got that screen in the middle of the floor. Just eliminates the help. Well, Carolina's been incredibly effective in that middle third of the floor.
Bacot takes it away, knocks it away from Moore. Here's Davis just barreling his way through traffic, and Carolina has tied it.
Oh, what a great play by R.J. Davis. He is having a fantastic game.
Davis now with 14, out of bounds off Banchero.
Well, that's why you want to force Paolo Banchero to his left. Driving to his right, he is much better. He can still go to his left, but Bacot knocked it away. And it went off of Moore's leg to R.J. Davis, and he just took it the other way. Avoided the block shot by Wendell Moore Jr. And Carolina now with a chance to take the lead. That seemed impossible if you watched that first game.
And even late in the first half in this one, at times when Bacot was on the bench, Duke got it out to an 11-point lead at one point. Bacot, and Carolina does have the lead for the first time here in the second half.
Looked like they were going to run that little slice cut screen for the screener. Instead, they just screened in, and Bacot absorbed the contact.
Griffin short. Love the rebound. 3-on-2 Carolina if they hurry. Love no. Manek, and that should be goaltending, and it is. Carolina by 4.
Boy, Duke took a questionable shot on the other end. And it seems like anytime you take a bad shot, you're just starting your opponent's fast break. It's the first pass in your opponent's fast break.
Everybody to their feet now here with Cameron trying to help out the Blue Devils. And again, how badly do the Carolina players want to play spoiler here on Coach K's final night coaching at Cameron? Boy, good ball pressure, but too much in the eyes of one of the officials, and that's a foul on Love.
Just got Love with a reach in, went in with one hand, but he gone with both hands. But Hubert Davis really likes the aggressiveness they're showing. That could have been an N1, yet arms all over the ball handler, but he was able to do a good job to go into that contact.
9-0 run Heels right now.
Manek did a nice job hedging and still recovering with arm out to discourage that pass.
He's been dealing with Banchero the whole second half. Made him work. Williams couldn't finish it. And out of bounds to Duke.
Both Griffin and Bacot fighting for that rebound. Bacot went after it with both hands. Looked like he might get it. But Griffin went after it just as hard. And that's what it's going to come down to in this game. I mean, Carolina's rebounded with Duke. They did not do that in the first game. Out rebounded by 16. They got a foul on Leaky Black. And he does not care for it.
Number 3 on Black. Neither team in the bonus yet. 8:17 to go in the 8:15 to go in the second half. A 4-point lead for Hubert Davis's North Carolina Tar Heels, trying to avenge a 20-point defeat on their home court a month ago. Nice feed from Keels into Banchero, and it's Duke ball.
Give credit to Bacot there. He came over from the weak side and with that left hand almost blocked the shot, but most certainly changed it because Banchero had an angle on that roll.
Jay, I don't believe Hubert Davis has made a substitution in the second half.
Would you if you were him?
No, I don't think anybody's come in. Puff Johnson hasn't played. Styles. It's been the same 5 for 12 minutes here in the second half.
Got a replay looking at the clock, apparently.
They're checking to see if the ball hit the rim. Mike Krzyzewski has won 88% of his games over the years here at Cameron. 572 wins, 75 losses. And we'll hear after the game when he speaks as part of the post-game ceremony what his emotions were like tonight. But he's obviously locked in on the task at hand right now. And did it? No, I don't think it did.
If it did, it just barely grazed it. So 12 seconds on the shot clock.
More to inbound.
Carolina doing a nice job switching those screens. Oftentimes you can give up an easy one when you don't switch properly.
Peels up top to Williams for the finish.
Williams so hard to deal with. They can just throw it up over the top, and Bacot still a little bit concerned about picking up a cheap one as we go down the stretch.
Manek with a great look. Nice play by Caleb Love. Carolina leads by 5.
That was a ball screen by Bacot, and then Manek set a back screen against Bacot's the roll defender, and then popped out for the 3. Great execution in the middle of the floor. What a pass.
Banchero to Williams.
Well, you come over to double, and Banchero can pass out of it. Well, he is a really smart passer.
His 4th assist of the night, Jay.
You have to think Carolina's going to try to run another ball screen out of the middle of the floor.
Love goes the other way. Kicks it to a wide open Manek again. Down to Duke.
Not going to get a more wide open shot.
Manek's already got 4 threes tonight. Moore the miss. Davis the rebound. Less than 7 to go. Carolina in the lead. Again the ball screen. Davis with a floater, and he's got 16. The lead back to 5.
How about the poise of R.J. Davis to pull up there without blasting off that ball screen? He's so quick, and he can really drive it. He has pull-up ability, but that was great poise to read that and not overdo it.
Banchero up to 21.
Well, we're seeing some high-level offensive plays and high-level reads. Just exploiting matchups on both ends of the floor.
Davis driving. Too strong. Williams ahead to Keels. A block is called on Brady Manek.
Yeah, Manek just a little bit late in getting there, but has the guts to try to take it. Trevor Keels got that quick outlet. Manek couldn't get established before the contact. And then the back screen on the roll man and a wide open 3 for Brady Manek. But who's been better for North Carolina than R.J. Davis? Had the roll man, but instead the little floater.
Concern to Mickey Krzyzewski. Duke trailing here tonight.
Customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
And by switching you secondary market, you see Mike Krzyzewski's final home game here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Kept the emotion in before the game, not during the game though. That emotion has come pouring out. He's telling his players, calm down. They're getting all they can handle and then some right now from the North Carolina Tar Heels, who have a 3-point lead with 6:04 to go.
North Carolina's taking good care of the ball in this second half. You can see all of Duke's former players in attendance. Christian Laettner, Elton Brand, Kyle Singler up against the railing up top. But Duke has not been forcing many turnovers in this second half. And Carolina, Leaky Black's got 3 fouls, but other than that, it's just a question of how much gas in the tank the Tar Heels have down the stretch. They've all played a lot of minutes.
R.J. Davis, Brady Manek have not come out of the game. Caleb Love and Leaky Black have each sat for just 2 minutes. Davis, boy, they leave him wide open, and he makes them pay.
Well, they were worried about that ball screen, back screen action with the pop. You got high-low with Bacot. And all of a sudden, the ball handler's wide open. Carolina's been so good with R.J. Davis doing the primary ball handling duties.
He's got 19. Roach for Duke, and it rattles in.
Jeremy Roach has made such great decisions this season, especially as compared to last season. That ball game he had against Virginia with those 15 points, that was a big-time performance.
Leaky Black baseline, scoops it up and in.
Well, Black just got the baseline side. Looked like a help defender was going to get to him.
How about that for Black's first points of the night? Carolina by 4, 5 minutes to go.
Well, Leaky Black was so good against Syracuse at 8 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Now 1-on-1 in the post for Banchero.
Banging with Manek. Banchero slips and travels.
Yeah, they either had to call a foul or travel. I mean, there was a lot of bumping in there, but the officials letting the players go at it. But once he goes down, there's no choice. It's either going to be foul, or it's going to be a walk. Leaky Black goes right past Paolo Banchero, who went straight up. And that's just a terrific finish. Now, Leaky Black has been so mature this year. Leads the Carolina team in plus-minus, and one of the best defenders in the country. They got a matchup here with Jeremy Roach on Bacot.
They can't get it to him. Now Davis driving on Banchero. 2 more for R.J. Davis.
What a great drive around Banchero. That was big time. Didn't even bring his left hand to the ball so he could get it off the glass quickly so it couldn't be blocked.
Again, the same 5 who played every minute here, every second of the second half for the Tar Heels. Hubert Davis sticking with him, and it's paying off. Banchero, no. Rebound, Bacot.
But Banchero went right into Manek and froze him. But still, it wasn't an easy little shot in the lane. Boy, big possession here for North Carolina.
Love to Manek for 2.
Little Euro step past the defender and a drop-off. Manek is a good cutter out of that corner.
Largest lead of the night for North Carolina. Trevor Keels. Rebound, Bacot again.
Well, give credit to Leaky Black. He put late pressure on that shot by Trevor Keels. And now North Carolina can stretch this out to 10 or more with a score here.
Love. And it's down to Moore. 3:20 to go. Duke beat Carolina by 20 a month ago in Chapel Hill. Carolina trying to flip the script here tonight.
He's going to look to drive this.
Bacot stays down. The kick to Moore for 3.
Well, you try to help, and you come too far off a shooter in the corner. Leaky Black, as great a defender as he is, could not make up that distance. Paolo Banchero.
Most people think they're safe, clearly a win tonight, and they would definitely be safe. They're the 3 seed in Brooklyn next week if they win tonight. They're the 4 if they lose. So if they were to be the 3, they would be on the other side of the bracket from Duke. Wouldn't see them until the final if both teams were to get that far. But right now, nobody's thinking about that. Carolina is thinking about spoiling the party, avenging a defeat from a month ago. And Jay, all this fight that Hubert Davis asked for and has gotten tonight, thinking about it paying off.
Oh, he's gotten it big time. There's that middle ball screen, now a switch. Davis taking on Banchero.
Manek gets it off and hits it.
And that's why you run it in the middle of the floor. You got to switch. You have to help out Trevor Keels on Bacot, and that opens up Brady Manek for a wide open 3. Carolina's done a great job with those middle ball screens. Middle third of the floor, helps, eliminates help, and then that's just a great pass to Brady Manek. I mean, he's hit well over 300 threes in his career. Oklahoma for his first 4 years, and now North Carolina. And he can really stretch the floor.
He had 21, as you mentioned earlier, against Duke a month ago in Chapel Hill. He's got 20 tonight. 3 North Carolina players have reached the 20-point plateau tonight. Manek's got 20. Bacot and Davis each have 21.
And what's important for North Carolina, they've got a lead right now with 2.5 to go in regulation, is to take care of the ball. If you get fouled, this is an excellent free throw shooting team. The 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure, not necessarily to get a steal right away or a trap, but to slow the advance and not let Carolina bring it up easily.
Davis not in a rush.
There's the middle ball screen and a spread floor.
Davis gets around Banchero, throws it by Bacot. It's loose, and it belongs to the Blue Devils. Griffin blocked by Bacot.
Wow, what a block with the left hand.
Well, what a night Bacot is having despite the foul trouble in the first half. Leaky Black in some trouble and wisely uses a timeout.
Well, if he didn't, Hubert Davis was sprinting to the official. Didn't know he could move that fast anymore.
A minute 47 to go. Carolina leading by 6. Armando Bacot has been a force at both ends of the floor tonight. Picking up the block on that play. He's got 21 points, 6 rebounds as well. Carolina still in the lead. All right. And we're back here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. North Carolina 82, Duke 76 after the timeout taken by the Tar Heels. What a performance by Carolina. They were down, and Bacot was on the bench with fouls, and with 3, 4, 5 minutes left in the first half, it looked precarious for the Tar Heels. What a second half they have had here tonight.
They've taken care of the ball. Duke's had a hard time staying in front of the ball, especially with Carolina's middle ball screen action in the middle third of the floor.
Carolina's only turned it over once in the second half and 5 times on the night.
They didn't turn it over all that much in Chapel Hill.
Davis, who, as you said, has had a magnificent night. Love with a deep 3. Tipped by Bacot, followed by Black.
Yeah, Carolina, always known for their offensive rebounding. Bacot kept it alive so that Leaky Black could go up unencumbered and have 2 chances at it.
Banchero, no, Bacot the rebound, and Carolina's got the ball and an 8-point lead with just over a minute to go, and Duke's got to start fouling.
Well, and give Bacot credit because he kept his body in front of Paolo Banchero and made it tough for Banchero to shoot over him. You know, that was a matchup that gave Bacot fits in Chapel Hill. Picked up his 2nd foul early. Just that little juke move. I think Duke is going to say, hey, he had his hands on him when he was shooting, but didn't get the call.
Next foul puts Carolina on the line.
And remember, this is an excellent free throw shooting team.
Wow, Love with a beautiful find to Bacot, and it's a double-digit lead here at Cameron.
Duke just has not been able to guard the ball in this second half.
Manek the rebound. Now the foul to send Love to the line, and look at the celebration on the Carolina bench.
Boy, in North Carolina, the Tar Heels' grit earlier in the season was questioned. Their toughness was questioned. How hard will they play was questioned. All those questions have been answered. Carolina's won 10 out of their last 12. They've had a couple performances. You say their game against Pittsburgh, you know, wasn't what they expected. But to come into this building and perform at this level, North Carolina has to feel very good heading into the ACC tournament.
Which they will do as the 3 seed with a win here tonight. And again, so many former players and fans of Duke basketball have come here tonight for Coach K's final home game. But barring a miracle right now, it is going to end in a loss for the home side.
Well, in an intensely emotional day, as Mike Krzyzewski coaches his last game as head coach in Cameron Indoor Stadium, North Carolina brought some emotion of their own.
Yes.
And the question's going to be asked, did the emotion of the day detract from what Duke was trying to do? But I think at this point, that's a rationalization. North Carolina took this game, and Armando Bacot had a foul issue early. Now this is one of the first play of the game, the first bucket, coming right down the middle. Offensive rebound bucket with the left hand, little spin move. Not the most balletic, but this is where he was fantastic, was in that middle pick and roll. He dragged the defense, and then the exclamation point. Armando Bacot has had a magnificent year. And with my vote, you're looking right there, Armando Bacot, the ACC Player of the Year. Who's been better?
Huge night for him tonight. Carolina so much better when he's been in the game. Banchero, no. And again, all 5 starters for the Tar Heels have played every single second of the second half.
They took care of the ball. They put Duke in situations in those middle ball screens where they couldn't really help because the floor was spread. They got to pick up Bacot, the roll guy. They got to hang with Brady Manek, who's popping out. And R.J. Davis. I thought R.J. Davis was the key to the game. Yeah. Because when he took over as the primary handler, that's when North Carolina's offense got better.
Love with his 19th point. He makes this free throw. It'll be 4 Tar Heels with 20 or more. What a moment, too, for Hubert Davis in his first year as head coach of the program, after experiencing so many of these games as a player and an assistant coach.
Well, it's certainly validation for the work that he's been doing with this team, and validation for his players and how they've improved throughout the course of the season. And before the game, he said, we need to show fight. And North Carolina brought the fight here in Cameron Indoor Stadium from the opening tap and hung in there when things got tough. I still think that the biggest key to the game, or key period, was the last 3 minutes of the first half. Yeah. This could have gotten away from Carolina. It didn't. And they fought back to make it a 2-point game. I think it was 41-39 at halftime. And that was a major key stretch in this game for the Tar Heels to be able to win.
Yeah, Duke had a 9-point lead, and Bacot was on the bench, and then Carolina made it close at the half. Roach a 3. Still Carolina ball, just 16 seconds to go. There is a post-game ceremony coming. Mike Krzyzewski is going to speak, but he was hoping, no doubt, to address the crowd and all of his former players after a win, and it's not going to turn out that way for Duke. They might meet again, of course. Could be in Brooklyn, could be in the NCAA tournament. With a loss here tonight, Coach K, 50-47 all-time in his career against North Carolina.
Well, and you don't need to say any more than Duke Carolina for what's at stake. But in addition to a win in this great rivalry for North Carolina, can that end the discussion about them in the NCAA tournament team? They were one before this. But the discussion's over. It's just where they're going to be seated. This has been a tournament team for quite some time now, and that discussion is over.
Carolina with 94 points, 55 of them in the second half. This is the most points scored against Duke this season, and that's going to do it. The final seconds will tick away, and the North Carolina Tar Heels come into Cameron Indoor Stadium on Mike Krzyzewski's final night coaching in this arena, and they hand the Blue Devils a loss. And boy, is Hubert Davis going to be beaming on the inside about the effort given by his players tonight.
North Carolina had a great performance in this ball game, and give credit to R.J. Davis, Armando Bacot, Brady Manek, Caleb Love. They all played important roles in Carolina being able to win this game, especially with this kind of atmosphere.